The guitar riff tears through the stadium. 70,000 voices roar in unison. Mick Jagger commands the stage like he has for 6 decades, hips swiveling, energy defying every one of his 79 years. Then, mid-song, he stops. The band stumbles. Keith Richards looks up, confused. Mick is staring into the crowd, squinting past the blinding lights. He raises his hand, signaling the music to cut. Silence crashes over the arena like a wave. Security tenses. The audience holds its breath. Mick points to the third row and says into the microphone, "Is that kid dressed like me?" What happens in the next 5 minutes will remind everyone why some legends earn their status not just through talent, but through humanity. If you love stories where rock and roll giants prove they're still human underneath all the swagger, you're in the right place. What Mick does next isn't just surprising, it's a masterclass in how to connect with the people who keep you alive. Stay close. It's June 23rd, 2023. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey is packed to capacity. The Rolling Stones' 60 tour has been breaking records across North America, proving that age is just a number when you've got the catalog, the chops, and the charisma. This isn't some nostalgia cash grab. The band sounds tight. Mick's voice, though weathered, still carries that unmistakable sneer. Keith's riffs still cut like broken glass. Ronnie Wood still grins like he's getting away with something. The set list is a greatest hits parade. Start Me Up, Sympathy for the Devil, Paint It Black. The production is massive but not overblown, just enough pyrotechnics to remind you you're at a rock show, not a corporate presentation. The crowd spans 4 generations. Grandparents who saw the Stones in the 70s stand next to teenagers discovering them through TikTok. Everyone is here for the same reason, to witness living history before it's gone. His name is Oliver Chen. He's 8 years old, born in Fort Lee, New Jersey to parents who met at a Rolling Stones concert in 2006. Oliver's father, David, is a music journalist. His mother, Rachel, teaches music history at a community college. Their house is a shrine to classic rock. Vinyl records line the walls. Posters of Led Zeppelin, The Who, and of course the Rolling Stones cover every spare inch. Oliver grew up falling asleep to Angie and waking up to Jumpin' Jack Flash. Most kids his age worship superheroes. Oliver worships Mick Jagger. He's watched the concert films dozens of times. He practices Mick's moves in front of the mirror. The strut, the pointing, the hip swivel. His parents think it's adorable. His teachers think it's unusual. Oliver doesn't care. He knows what he loves. When David scored third-row tickets to the MetLife show, Oliver had one request. He wanted to dress like Mick. Not just any Mick, 1972 Mick Jagger from the Exile on Main Street era. Rachel spent 2 weeks sewing the costume by hand. A tiny sequined vest covered in silver and gold, tight black pants, a red scarf tied around his neck. She even found miniature platform boots online. The morning of the concert, Oliver stood in front of the mirror, fully dressed, and grinned. "I look like a rock star," he said. David took a photo. Rachel cried a little. They had no idea their son was about to become part of Rolling Stones history. Mick Jagger stands center stage, drenched in sweat and satisfaction. The band has just torn through Gimme Shelter, and the crowd is molten. This is what he lives for, the roar, the energy, the proof that after all these years he can still make 70,000 people lose their minds. He scans the audience between songs, a habit formed over decades. Eye contact matters, connection matters. Even in a stadium this size, you have to make people feel seen. His gaze drifts across the front rows, phone screens, ecstatic faces, raised fists. Then he sees something that makes him do a double take. A child, maybe 8 or 9 years old, wearing what looks like a tiny version of Mick's own stage outfit from 50 years ago. The vest, the scarf, the boots. The kid is dancing, trying to mimic Mick's moves, completely unself-conscious. Mick's internal monologue shifts. He's seen a lot in 60 years of touring. Fans in outrageous costumes, marriage proposals, people crying. But this is different. This kid wasn't even born when most of these songs were written. His parents probably weren't born. Yet here he is, dressed head to toe in tribute, moving like he understands something essential about rock and roll, that it's supposed to be fun, that it's supposed to be absurd, that the whole point is to let go and not give a damn what anyone thinks. Mick feels something unexpected, a rush of affection, a reminder of why he started doing this in the first place. Before the money, before the legend, when it was just about making people feel alive. He raises his hand. The band, mid-intro to the next song, stops. Keith looks up, eyebrows raised. Charlie Watts would have known immediately what was happening. He always read Mick's mind. But Charlie's gone now, and the new drummer hesitates, waiting for a cue. Ronnie grins, expecting some kind of Jagger improvisation. The crowd murmurs, confused. 70,000 people wondering if something's wrong. Mick walks to the edge of the stage, microphone in hand, and points directly at Oliver. Hold on, he says, his voice echoing through the stadium. Is that kid dressed like me? Oliver freezes. His father's hand grips his shoulder. His mother gasps. Every head in the section turns. Security near the stage shifts, unsure whether this is a bit or a problem. Mick squints, shielding his eyes from the lights. Yeah, you, little man in the vest, stand up. Oliver stands slowly, legs shaking. He's not scared exactly, more like he's been struck by lightning and is still processing whether he's alive. Mick breaks into a wide grin. Look at that. He's got the scarf, he's got the boots, he's even got the moves. The crowd erupts in laughter and applause. Oliver's face turns bright red, but he's smiling so hard it looks like his face might split. Mick turns to his security team and makes a gesture. Bring him up. The head of security hesitates. This isn't protocol. But Mick Jagger doesn't take no for an answer, especially when he's decided something is going to be fun. Two security guards approach David and Rachel, who look like they're having out-of-body experiences. He wants the kid on stage, one guard says. Rachel almost faints. David nods frantically. They help Oliver over the barricade. The crowd is going insane now, realizing they're about to witness something unscripted, something real. Oliver is escorted up the side stairs, past monitors and equipment, onto the largest stage he's ever seen. The lights are blinding, the sound is overwhelming, and there, walking toward him with that unmistakable strut, is Mick Jagger. In person, not on a screen, not in a poster, real. Mick kneels down to Oliver's level and extends a hand. Oliver shakes it, his hand disappearing into Mick's. What's your name, mate? Mick asks. Oliver, the kid whispers. The microphone barely picks it up. Mick laughs. Speak up, there's 70,000 people here. Oliver takes a breath. Oliver, he shouts. The crowd roars its approval. Mick stands and turns to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Oliver, and Oliver here has clearly got better style than most of you. Laughter ripples through the stadium. Mick looks down at Oliver. You know the moves, yeah? You've been practicing? Oliver nods, still unable to fully process what's happening. All right then, Mick says, turning to the band. Let's give him a proper stage. Boys, let's do Start Me Up again, and Oliver here is going to help me out. The band kicks in. Keith's opening riff slices through the air. Ronnie locks into the groove, the rhythm section pounds, and Mick starts moving. But this time he's not alone. He takes Oliver's hand and guides him across the stage, showing him where to strut, when to point, how to work the crowd. Oliver follows, hesitant at first, then with growing confidence. He mimics Mick's hip swivel. The crowd loses its mind. He points at the audience. They scream. He throws the scarf over his shoulder. People are crying with laughter and joy. For 3.5 minutes, an 8-year-old kid and a 79-year-old rock legend share a stage, and the distance between them vanishes. When the song ends, Mick pulls Oliver into a hug. He whispers something in the kid's ear that the microphone doesn't catch. Oliver nods, wiping his eyes. Mick takes off his own scarf, the one he's been wearing all night, and ties it around Oliver's neck. You keep that, mate, you earned it. The stadium erupts. Oliver is led off stage by security, clutching the scarf like it's made of gold. His parents are waiting at the bottom of the stairs, both sobbing. Rachel hugs Oliver so hard he squeaks. David just keeps saying, "Did that just happen? Did that actually just happen?" Backstage after the show, Mick asks his team to find the family. They're brought to a private room where Mick, now in a robe and holding a towel, greets them like old friends. He talks to Oliver for 10 minutes, asks him what songs he likes, what he wants to be when he grows up, whether he's going to start a band. Oliver, still clutching the scarf, tells Mick he wants to be just like him. Mick laughs. "No, you don't, mate. You want to be better. That's the whole point." Before they leave, Mick signs Oliver's vest, his boots, and a poster. He also hands David a laminated pass. "Next time we're in town, you come backstage first. No questions asked." The video goes viral within hours. Fan footage from a dozen angles floods every social media platform. Mick Jagger brings kid on stage, trends worldwide. News outlets pick it up. Good Morning America runs a segment. The BBC interviews Oliver's parents. But the comments section is where the real story lives. Thousands of people sharing their own experiences of being seen by their heroes, talking about what it means when someone famous chooses kindness over ego. Praising Mick, not for his voice or his moves, but for recognizing a kid who just wanted to feel connected to something bigger than himself. Oliver keeps the scarf in a frame above his bed. He tells the story at school so many times, his teachers gently ask him to talk about something else. But he can't. It's not about bragging. It's about the moment when his hero became real. When the distance between stage and audience collapsed. When Mick Jagger, one of the most famous people on the planet, stopped everything to acknowledge a kid in a homemade costume. Mick doesn't talk about it much in interviews, but in a Rolling Stone profile 2 months later, he's asked about the moment. He shrugs. It's easy to forget when you're up there that it's not about you. It's about them. That kid reminded me of why we do this. Not for the money, not for the legacy, but because somewhere out there some kid is watching and thinking, maybe I can do that too. If I can give that kid 5 minutes on stage, why wouldn't I? It's the least I can do. So what do we take from the night Mick Jagger stopped a Rolling Stones concert for an 8-year-old in a sequined vest? Maybe this: that the true measure of greatness isn't just what you achieve, but how you treat the people who look up to you. Oliver didn't have backstage passes, he didn't have connections. He just had love for the music and the guts to show up dressed like his hero. And Mick saw that, recognized it, honored it. That's not ego, that's generosity. Now I want to hear from you. Who's the hero you'd dress up as if you knew they'd see you? Who's the artist, the athlete, the performer who made you believe you could be more than you were? Drop their name in the comments. And if you've ever had a moment where someone you admired actually saw you, really saw you, share that story. Let's honor the Micks and the Olivers, the legends and the kids who remind them why they became legends in the first place. And if this story made you smile, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness and rock and roll aren't mutually exclusive. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep dancing like someone's watching, because sometimes they are.